Good morning, y'all. It's still morning, and I'm just really stressed out. And the reason that I'm stressed, um, like I said, I do different pages and things like that. And I think that what I'm finding is that when you are in a position, and I think I touched on this a little bit earlier, where you're stressed out, it brings all the trolls. And so I guess I've never been the kind of person to wear a mask. The smoke from the flat iron is killing me, but I've never been the type of person to wear a mask. I don't believe in it because I believe that in order to heal, and I believe you have to reveal, the pain. And I believe also that we all are connected to each other. And because we all are connected to each other, then what that means is that if you do not heal the pain within yourself, you're hiding and not healing the pain of society as a whole. So the things that we all go through, they're all similar. It's all the same thing. We live in the same society for the most part, to a certain extent. And um, we all have the same type of issues from time to time, whether it be unemployment, whether it be managing bullies, they come in different forms. And, whether it be the battle against ourselves, of being able to stand strong against all those different forces that are out there that may prove to hinder you. Now, I'm going to tell you a little bit, and I think we all have the right to, break down every now and then. I think it's a good thing to just to be like, you know. But what I want to tell you about are, two realistic things in my life right now, and perhaps, maybe not, but perhaps, someone will be able to relate. And the two things in my life right now are just on a very small scale, very close in scale. I have two interviews. Now, I'm just gonna be honest with you about how I feel about these interviews. I don't even know about the first one at all because, like I said, from what I heard from the manager, which surprisingly was pretty professional, I'm not used to that. Was that they indeed are close friends with a prior employer of mine, and that prior employer ripped me off. They did not pay me. And so to me, I'm not gonna lie, I am a little strapped, beyond strapped, hard up for cash. And I do need uh, money. But, do I need the situation of, being put in a place where, I may be in contact with those people that I don't agree with on a regular basis, and where I might receive, latent harassment. I received all kind of harassment when I was actively employed, at the other place. So, me, if I get into a situation where I am hired, I'm putting myself up for the same thing. But the other part, that's the coward's view. Now, the strengthening, the encouraging view is that perhaps, like I said, the man that answered was very professional. He told me that he was the sales manager. Um, and the way he sounded, he was professional. He's the type of person that I would love to work with. But, um, but the thing is that I don't know, as professional as he sounds, as great as he sounds, I don't know how long he's been there. But the thing about it that I could do is if I go in and and I put my best foot forward and not discount myself, meaning that if I come across any opposition or any negativity, if I address it head on and address it, counteracting it with my skills and my abilities, which is what it's all about anyways, then you know then I should come out the winner. The thing about me that I have to fight about myself is I don't like to fight. I'm not a fighter. I don't like to fight at all. I don't like to fight, period. I speak my mind and I move on. I don't like to fight. I'm not a fighter. I don't see the purpose in fighting. I think everybody has a right to do what they want to do, believe what they want to believe, and I have my belief and my reasoning behind it, and I'm open to learn and get your reasoning and your belief. But most people these days, they just do what they want to do. They don't have reasoning, and like I said, that's something I have to learn, and maybe that's why I'm going through these cycles because I don't like to fight. You know, I like my life easy as possible, and I'm just hoping to go in and get this little job real quick, and hopefully the second guy. Um, and this is what kills me because I do research on each company that I come across. Like even if they just post a phone number, I'll look the phone number up and see what's what. Look the phone number up. They've had ads for HR people and everything else on different sites. Now, this person, I guess, since he's answering the phone, placing the ads, and inviting people for interviews, he's an HR person of sorts. But he just seemed lost. When I asked him, what time was available for the interview, he told me, they're here until this certain time. And I said, oh, okay, so walk in appointments are okay. What he says to me in response to that is, yeah, but just don't come in shorts and a t shirt. I had to explain to him that what I meant by walk in was that you don't have a specific time for the interview, that you can just walk in whenever you get there, as long as it's before that period. So I don't know. I mean, that's those types of things frustrate me. But I don't know. And then, like I said, the so-called mentor people. Um, the guy yesterday, prior to the interview, he had all of this information. I mean, he kept me on the phone for an hour and a half, discussing this, that, and the other. And I guess, all of that was because he saw potential and he figured, bam, I would land the job. And he told me to call him, as soon as I get out of the interview, to give him a call. And, when I got home, I took a woosah minute because I was really angry. But I figured since he showed so much zest and zeal, yesterday, that he most definitely, because I didn't plan for him to call me at all, but, he would send out those texts and, those inspirational texts. And I was just sending back texts just a way for me to interact with people. And so, he called me based on that, and then I told him he asked me what was going on. I gave him the situation, and he started to give me all of this pep. And, I told him that I was adopting him as a mentor. Now, what ended up happening was he told me to call him after. Now, the conversation, like I said, was an hour and a half. I had gotten everything that I needed, but I didn't want to cut him short because any type of encouragement or interaction that I can get, I try to keep it. So I didn't cut him short. But then when it got to the point where I had to, because I was expecting another call, I let him know. But he told me, oh, when my interview gets out yesterday, to give him a call immediately so we could talk about it. So, I didn't want to call him immediately because I was a little distraught about it. I wanted to at least woosah and blog about it a little bit so I could feel a little better about it. And so instead of calling him, because I didn't know like what he was in the middle of, work, whatever, I texted him and said, just call when you're ready. Never called, never texted. Never. So I guess he knew that if I wasn't bubbling over with excitement that I didn't get, you know, didn't get the job, And so, it says a lot about the tenacity of other people, all of that ahead of time. And you're telling me to call because you're expecting me to get it. And, there was no reason for him not to expect me to get it. But on the same note, when you see that there may be a little more dilemma involved, you know where to be found, But I have to say this, I was really impressed when he contacted me the other day because he has family, kids in the background, work stuff going on in the background. I was surprised he even gave me that much time. So I was aptly, doubly surprised when he didn't even try to follow up and check and see how things went. None of the mentors did, because I guess they knew that it didn't go well. So it was no need in them, getting caught up in the less than positive feelings that go with that. But I try to use the mentoring thing responsibly. And I think part of that responsibility is that even if they overgive information, I have to stop them because what happens is if they overgive that information and I don't really need it, when it comes to a point where I need something, they're gonna look back and say, well, I gave an hour and a half. I spent an hour and a half. You know, when all of that wasn't necessary. But the catch-22 about that is that if I stop them short, they'll be like, oh well, you didn't get everything. So I mean, I think the delicate balance here is that you just have to find people that really want to, and then you have to be mindful that they're human too. They're not perfect. They're not gonna be able to always. Like, I didn't keep my word yesterday. I told the girl I was gonna. Um, I didn't keep my word a couple times actually, and I need to work on that. Not intentionally, but I'm allowing my moods to kind of change it. But yesterday it was nothing I could help. I mean, I got up and I started working on things that would encourage me. Then I had to go out and get stuff to prepare for my interview, so I didn't have time. And I'm catching a bus. So by the time I got around to almost a stopping point, which I really wasn't at a stopping point, it was time for me to go to the interview. So that was that. But really, when I see at least that there's branches that were at some point trying to reach out, I realize that I definitely do have to encourage myself. Um, and I'm a woman. I've been through some things, employment wise and so forth. So I am a little bitter. I still have a lot of the passion about it, but I realize that a lot of it is just um, there's professional people, and then there's people that are just you know some of them are just figureheads that they lined up to put there to people basically that have no educational talent, but they put them there because they know how much that person needs or depends on them. And if that's that much of a need or a dependence, that person will probably do or say anything, regardless of the moral value of it. Then you have the type of people that, they smile and do this on one hand, but on the other hand, depending on your value, they're manipulative. Your value to them, they will they will do anything to cause a problem because it's all about self promotion. It's not somebody else promoting them; they're promoting themselves, but they're willing to do anything to kind of stand above, even if it means things that are not so honest. And then you have people that just have good relationships that make things work, and that's the kind of person I want to be. So I mean, that's it. But I'm not no fool. A fool. I don't think that interview with that person, that company that's close friends with the old one that I worked with, I don't think that would be a viable one for me to go to because I don't feel like wasting my time, and I don't feel like being frustrated anymore. And like I said, each bridge that comes, I have to cross it as I come to it. I mean, that's all I can do. And what I really need to do, because you know the situation that I'm in, I really need to just kind of clear everything out, just in case. And not only that, but for the time that I'm remaining here, I need to have some semblance of order going on because that's not what's going on right now. So that's that. Just sharing some of my. It's kind of like I call my personality when it comes to struggles Teal blue. It's like I understand the hardness, the difficulty, the concrete and abstract struggles that go along with it. But I also see, and understand the purpose of it. So it's like the silver lining in the cloud is what it is. And the good thing about my my interview is that I have direct transportation there. Might take me a while, but I have some time, so I'm good. But I do have direct transportation there, so that's a good thing. So that's it. I'm just venting.